Take action where you are. You don't have to pick up 50 tons of trash to be successful. It can be as simple as you going out with a garbage bag, walking your dog, picking up trash and cigarette butts along the street. Because you know what? People that are driving by are going to see you doing that action and be like, hey, good on that person. Maybe I can do that. And it creates a snowball effect. You know, you don't need dumpsters and everything to be successful. Pick a Saturday, go out and do a beach cleanup. Go where you are in your local community. It doesn't take a lot to become an activist in your city.
I am joined on the Daily Signal podcast by conservative activist Scott Presler. Scott, thank you so much for being here.
I'm happy to. Love you guys.
Yeah, so this is your second time on the podcast, so we're excited to catch up and hear a little bit about what you have been up to since we last spoke. You've been picking up trash in cities all over America. The first city you held a cleanup day in was Baltimore.
Yes.
You saw the situation there and how bad things were, and you took action. You organized volunteers and you beautified the streets there in Baltimore. But what was supposed to be a one-time event quickly grew into something much, much larger. So tell us a little bit about how that happened, how it got so much bigger.
Well, you know, after our first Baltimore cleanup where we picked up 12 tons of trash in 12 hours in one day, I was like, you know, I'm kind of good at picking up trash. And I didn't study waste management and sanitation in school, so this is all kind of new to me. But I was like, you know, I think we have something here. And why do I want to stop in Baltimore when I can take this nationwide? So it developed into me going into Austin, Baltimore, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, Portland, San Francisco. I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. I've gone from coast to coast picking up trash across the country, and people are like, how do you do it? And I'm like, basically, all I do is just say, hey, I'm coming to San Fran, and then hundreds of people volunteer and show up. And then I always joke, it's like, I never imagined that people would actually have fun picking up trash, but you saw it. We actually had a really good, positive, fun time, because I feel like people know, like, they're making a difference.
Yeah. I attended one of your cleanup days in Baltimore. It was a great time. It was exactly that. People were excited to be there.
Yeah.
You don't really expect everyone to be so happy picking up trash, but they were. So how many cities have you visited now to clean the streets?
I haven't counted, but yeah, the ones I just named, I'd say probably around 10 different cities.
Wow.
And in August 2019 alone, we've picked up over 105 tons of trash, and 50 of those tons alone were in Los Angeles.
Wow. That's just hard to imagine. That's a lot of
It's
trash.
really hard to even picture. But yes, it's several dozen dumpsters full of trash.
Wow. And all of your organizing and gathering volunteers, that's pretty much all done through Twitter, right?
Oh, yeah. I just post on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and say, I'm coming to San Fran. Boom. They show up. And it's funny because back in 2017, I've been picking up trash for years. That's the funniest part. And I'd be like, Virginia, you know, do you want to go pick up trash? And people wouldn't always text me back,
Yep.
you know, because they probably thought I was weird. But now people across the country are saying, Scott, come to Oklahoma City, you know, come to LA, come to Portland, come to Seattle, and I will help you. So it's funny. I always joke that I'm kind of like the Tom Sawyer of politics, because he always made whitewashing the fence fun. And I think what I'm doing is I'm making community service and picking up trash fun.
So what does it mean to people? A total stranger comes into their community and says, I want to make it beautiful again.
Yeah.
What is the response that you've received?
It's gratefulness, thankfulness. You know, I think of Baltimore, and you may have heard her name, Miss Louise, 81 years old, 4 foot 10 inches tall. And she even invited us into her home. You know, these are complete strangers. She had 20 of us in her house. And Miss Delaney in Chicago. And it's not so much about what it means to them, but one thing that we did is in Los Angeles, when we picked up 50 tons of trash, we actually were able to get 5 homeless Americans safely off the streets and agreed into housing. So, like, I want to make this clear. We're not only doing the tangible result of picking up trash, but, like, we're really changing lives. We're changing minds. We're changing hearts. And it all comes from this can-do attitude.
Yeah, wow. So how can I find out if you're coming to my city, or if I want you to come to my city? How can I get you there?
ScottPresler.org. Excuse me. There's only one S in Presler. You can also find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Scott Presler. And upcoming, I'm going to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on March 14th. I'm going to Philly on April 4th. I'm going to Detroit, Michigan on April 2nd. And I will be doing a cleanup during the Democrat National Convention in Milwaukee.
I love it. Now, your hands-on activism, Scott, it really is just so inspiring because you are walking out what you preach.
Yes.
What is your message to people that right now are hearing this and something is coming to their mind? They're maybe thinking, well, I could pick up trash.
Sure.
Or they're thinking, oh, I know something I could do in my community that, would help the people where I live. But, they're hesitant to take that step. What would you say to them?
I'd say, well, some people are like, what can I do? How can I get started or inspire people? Take action where you are. You don't have to pick up 50 tons of trash to be successful. It can be as simple as you going out with a garbage bag, walking your dog, picking up trash and cigarette butts along the street. Because you know what? People that are driving by are going to see you doing that action and be like, hey, good on that person. Maybe I can do that. And it creates a snowball effect. You don't need dumpsters and everything to be successful. Pick a Saturday, go out and do a beach cleanup. Go where you are in your local community. It doesn't take a lot to become an activist in your city.
Yeah. And your experience of picking up trash has really taken you into some of the hardest areas in America. What have you really seen and experienced in those places?
Well, it's been hard because as Americans, we live in the greatest, freest country in the world, and we are very privileged. We are. And the hardest thing for me is to see the homelessness. I was just in San Francisco where we were actually protested for picking up trash, and I never thought I'd see the day as an adult that I was protested for cleaning up America, but that's okay. I was nice to them. I said, hey, do you want to help us? They didn't, but that's okay. I went up to members of the homeless community, and I talked to them, and I wanted to respect their humanity and give them dignity and respect. And one gentleman named Osiris, I said, let me be candid with you for a second. How does it make you feel that you're an American, you're living on the streets here in San Francisco, but illegal immigrants are coming first, are being prioritized over you? And he said, I'm angry, and I think we should come first. So for me, this has been it's so much more than cleaning up trash. It's been a growing experience. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about the world. And I want to use my platform because not everybody in suburban America, not everybody in rural America understands the plight that's happening in our cities. And I want to expose the truth that for some people, this reality they live in is their normal. That's normality. And I want to be there to offer a hand up. I want to be there to offer hope to people that are hopeless, and I want to take care of the people that are forgotten in America's forgotten American cities.
And how do we do that? I mean, how do we actually go about bringing that effective change to the hardest and darkest places in America?
Well, look, sometimes like in LA, where 5 people have agreed to housing now because of our cleanup, sometimes even the simple action of coming in to do a cleanup can change 5 lives. And I think I think about this starfish story where an old man saw a young woman, and there were starfish that had washed up on the beach. And he saw her, and she was flinging the starfish back into the ocean. And he said, what are you doing? How could you possibly save all of these starfish? And the young girl picked up one. She threw it into the ocean, and she said, I made a difference to that one. And so, we can't go into it thinking that we're going to save the world. We have to start small, think locally. But imagine if each of us did something, we could transform America for the better. So whether it's donating to a homeless shelter or a women's shelter or doing a trash cleanup or even going to the homeless community and saying, because we have 2 ears and one mouth for a listen. We need to go in and actually listen to these people, stop talking and saying, what can I do for you? And give them the opportunity to actually tell us how we can make their life better.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Are you going to slow down, stop
No.
picking up trash?
You think I'm going to slow down?
No, I don't.
You think I'm going to stop? I didn't even let pneumonia stop me. I
I
faced worse
know.
monsters for years.
Ugh.
So no, this month I'm going to Houston, I'm going to Reno, Nevada, I'm going to Kent, Ohio, I'm going to Emmaus, Philly, Butler, Slippery Rock. I'm speaking at colleges. Basically, I will do whatever it takes because I give a darn. I care about my community. I bleed red, white, and blue. And I just hope that people listening to this podcast, people listening, you'll be inspired by what I have to say. And I hope that you will go out and do something to make your community better.
Scott, thank you so much for your time. We really
No,
appreciate it.
thank you very much. Thank you, Virginia.